The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
On the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark, and saw the stone removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and told them, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb, and we don't know where they put him." Mary stayed outside the tomb, weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb, and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. And Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener, and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." And Jesus said to her, "To Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. And Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he told her. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Originally, the celebration of the feast of the Blessed or Mary Magdalene is called the Memorial. But today, it was raised to a feast. So meaning to say, a notch higher than a memorial. That's why we sang the Gloria a while ago. Why was it raised to a feast? Because according to the Church, the Jubilee of Mercy looks at Mary Magdalene as somewhat of a model. And so therefore, her feast was, rather her celebration, her memorial, was raised to a feast day. Bakit ho mahalaga itong si Mary Magdalene? Pakinggan niyo ho ito, ano? Si Mary Magdalene ho ay napossess ng mga evil spirits. And Jesus performed a miracle on her. So Jesus exorcised Mary Magdalene so much so that the evil spirits went away. So yun pong una. Pangalawa na mahalaga kay Mary Magdalene, she was at the foot of the cross when Christ was crucified. You have to remember that even the apostles weren't there. Kumbaga sila ay nag-alisa na takot na takot. Ang naiwan lang doon, isang disipulo, apostle, si John, and of course, Mary Magdalene was there. So nagpakita siya ng, kumbaga, tapang. Pangatlo, Mary Magdalene was the first to know, according to the account of St. John, that Jesus had already risen from the dead. You heard that now in the Gospel. Kaya anong ginawa ni Mary Magdalene? Siya ay tumungo sa iba pang mga alagad ni Jesus at siya yung nagbalita na si Jesus nga ay buhay na muli. Very important yun. Okay, isa pa na dapat na matandaan natin tungkol kay Mary Magdalene. Etong si Mary Magdalene ay itinuring na apostol ng mga apostol. Why? Because of her dedication and commitment to following Jesus. At hindi lang basta kay Kristo, sumusuporta din siya sa mga alagad ni Kristo, yung mga apostles. So kilala niya tong mga to. She was with them, and then of course, she helped in the proclamation of the word. Ganon ka-dedicated itong si Mary Magdalene. Pero merong mga misconception tungkol sa kanya. And foremost of these misconceptions ay ito, na di umano si Mary Magdalene was the woman caught committing adultery. That was not true. Kaya alam niyo yung misconception na yan, napasok pa yan sa kultura natin. Ano yung kultura natin? Kung paano napasok si Mary Magdalene? Alam niyo yung kanta, yung Magdalena. Di ba? Sino bang lumikha ng kantang yon? Ang tindi ng, si Freddy Aguilar ba? Tama ho, ano? O yun, ang tindi ng misconception, bakit kanyo? Kasi yung Maria Magdalena doon, yung Magdalena, ay babaeng mababa ang lipad. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng babaeng mababa ang lipad? Alam niyo yun, di ba? Parang engaged in prostitution, di ba? Ginamit yung word na Magdalena, perhaps thinking that the Magdalene mentioned in the scriptures is the same woman caught in adultery. Pero hindi po siya yun. Magkaiba sila. So, yun po ang isang napakalaking misconception. Kaya, yung misconception na yan, nai-extend din. Ano? Halimbawa, ako, birthday ko ho ngayon. Nasabihin nila, naku, Magdaleno ka pala. Kaya pala maharot ka. Ganong misconception, ha? So, tingnan ninyo, na-identify nila yung salitang Magdalene sa ganung uri ng babae. But it was really unfair to Mary Magdalene. Because in the first place, she was very committed to Jesus. She was a disciple. Okay? Kahit na bago pa man siya naging disipulo, hindi natin makita kung ano ba talaga yung ginagawa niya. Siguro yung isang medyo hindi maganda dito ay, yun nga, siya ay na-possess ng masamang spirit. Okay, pwede naman na ma-possess talaga ng masamang spirit. Sabi nga ng mga, alam niyo ng mga exorcist, yung pong possession ay ang dami-dami hong, kumbaga, categories niyan. Yung iba, infestation, manifestation. Sabi nung mga exorcist, kapag palamura nga daw ang isang tao, mukhang yan ay inaalihan na ng masamang espiritu. Sabi nila, so a person who always curses, yan daw ay inaalihan ng masamang espiritu. So, hindi ko alam kung ano yung extent ng, kumbaga, ay possession ng evil spirits kay Mary Magdalene. But the fact of the matter was, Mary Magdalene was exorcised by Jesus. And it was a blessing. Maybe after the exorcism, yun na napagtanto na, I have to dedicate my life to the Lord. I have to serve Him. I have to follow Him. So, imagine a woman thinking that way. Karamihan ng mga sumusunod kay Jesus noon, puro lalaki, di ba? Kasi, tandaan din natin, in the life of Israel, the context is patriarchal. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung lalaki, yun ang masusunod, yun ang boss, sila lagi. Yung mga babae, second class. But for Mary Magdalene to assert herself to the point that she became a follower of Christ, that spoke volumes of her character, about her character, di ba? So, yung pa lang, talagang pwede nating sabihin na yung mga misconceptions na ganyan, makasalanan siya, prostitute siya, unfair sa kanya, and unjust. Okay? So, ngayon, ipinagdiriwang natin etong piyesta niya, kaya ni-raise doon sa feast from being a memorial, kaya meron tayong gloria, because of the Jubilee of Mercy. Apparently, nakikita ng simbahan na itong si Maria Magdalena ay daluyan ng habag ng Diyos. Daluyan ng habag ng Diyos. That's why this is a special day, not because it is my birthday, but because it is the feast of Mary Magdalene. So, if it is my birthday today, it becomes doubly special. Kasi nga, ayun, marirelate ko, si Mary Magdalene was a disciple of Christ. Sabi ko, ganun din ang pagiging pari, dapat disipulo ka. Si Mary Magdalene, dedicated to Christ, sabi ko, mukha yatang ako, hindi pa ganun. Ibig sabihin, kulang pa. Kung merong 100%, sabihin natin baka mga 80%. Kasi doon pa rin yung pagiging tao, pagiging human. Minsan, when you relate with people, some people do not understand you because of how you conduct yourself. So, yung kumbaga dedicated ka, kahit napapagod ka, sige pa rin. Kahit na merong mga ganitong mga nangyayari, sige pa rin. It is for the Lord. That's an inspiration. Mary Magdalene is somewhat of a model presented to me. Kay bilang isang alagad ng Diyos, bilang isang pare. And of course, pag sinabi natin na daluyan ng biyaya, itong si Mary Magdalene, lalong-lalo na yung habag ng Diyos. Palagay ko bilang pare, ganun din. Papaano nakikita sa pare yung siya ay daluyan ng biyaya? First off is the confessional. Kung yung pari tamad magpa-confess, kung yung pari ay kapag nilapitan mo at mangungumpisal ka, ay sabi, bumalik ka na lang sa susunod na araw. Naku, paano magiging daluyan ng habag ng Diyos yan? Kung sa confession ay hindi siya makapagbigay ng oras. Di ba, minsan kayo, hindi nyo naman alintana yung schedule dito, di ba? Kasi may sarili din kayong schedule. Schedule ng confession dito, 11 to 12, 5 to 6 ng hapon. Minsan pupunta na lang kayo dito sa oras na gusto ninyo. Minsan, ando dun yung temptation sa pare. Mamaya na lang kayo bumalik. Hindi ngayon schedule ng pangungumpisal. Yung ganong rejection, parang yung pare ay hindi naging daluyan ng habag ng Diyos. Ando dun yung tao, lumalapit na. Palagay ko, I am guilty of that because many times in the past, I was also like that and I'm sorry if I'm like that. Kaya nung tiningnan ko si Mary Magdalene, parang para yatang pinipitik ako ni Mary Magdalene. Parang pinapaalalahanan ako. So, ang ganda lang na i-remind ka, Father Jerome, okay? You should be an instrument of God's mercy. So, you should be there. That's number one, kung paano magiging daluyan ng biyaya ng habag ng Diyos. Pangalawa, alam mo yung dapat may panahon ka na nakikinig sa tao. Minsan yung mga pari, di ba, parang naiisnabing ka lang yan. Tapos walang panahon, parang laging nagmamadali. Ako yung mga description na yon, kung bakit ko binanggit, kasi ako yun eh. So, I am guilty of that. Parang, hindi ko tinatawanan, pero habang nagre-reflect ako nito kanina, kay Mary Magdalene, sabi ko talagang parang ako yung unang pinaparinggan nito ni Mary Magdalene. Parang ako yung unang nire-remind nito. Kasi paano ka nga naman magiging daluyan ng biyaya kung yung tao na gustong makipag-usap sa iyo dahil hingi ng advice, hingi ng tulong, nagmamadali ka lagi, inisnab mo, wala kang panahon. It is not being a disciple. So thanks to Mary Magdalene for reminding me of this. And it is so significant that I be reminded because kung pababayaan ko lang ito, baka magtuloy-tuloy thinking that, wala naman nagreklamo, okay lang naman yata sa mga tao. So, it is through Mary Magdalene that I am now, kumbaga ay reminded by the Lord. Okay, pangatlo at panghuli, paano naging inspiration itong si Mary Magdalene? Alam nyo yung sinabi dito na siya ay apostle ng mga apostle at siya ay naging witness ng resurrection. Sabi ko, pag sinabing naging witness ka ng resurrection, apostle ka ng mga apostle, ito ay pagiging servant. And how do you become a servant to the people? Especially, halimbawa, yung context ko bilang pare, yung servant of the people, tanggalin mo yung sense of entitlement. Kayo ho, mga laiko, marirealize yung minsan yung mga pare may sense of entitlement. What does that mean? Na yung pare ang parang laging inuuna, parang special lagi yung treatment. Nakikita ho namin yan lalong-lalo na sa mga probinsya. Ang sarap sana na tinuturing yung special. Sa mga kainan, Father, mauna na ho kayo. Okay, nakapila lahat. Father, ito ho yung plato. Yan. Father, dito po kayo sa kabisera. Ganun lagi, parang may special treatment. Well, it feels good, It feels good to be specially treated. But then, as a servant, tingnan nyo kung paano natin ituring yung mga servant. Sila yung naglilingkod. Minsan nga yung mga servant parang, dalhin mo nga kami ng ganito, dalhin mo kami ng ganyan. Parang minsan nawawalan tayo ng respeto. Wag naman sanang ganon. Pero yung concept is, as a servant, we give you what you need. And what do you need? It's not, of course, material things or financial matters that I'm gonna give you. Hindi. What do you need? Na maramdaman ninyo sa pamamagitan naming mga pare na mahal kayo ng Diyos. That is what you need. That you be assured that God is there in the person of the priest. So, nung ibinahagi niya that Christ is alive, parang yun din ang lalapit kami sa inyo, maramdaman ninyo yung galak, yung biyaya, yung sigla, na ando doon ng Diyos sa piling ninyo. That is how I view it. And for 51 years and 51 years old, 23 years as a priest, I have to admit, I need to perfect it. Hindi pa ho ganon. Because you know what? Bilang isang pari, ando doon din sa akin yung sense of entitlement. Pero dito, pinapractice ko, wag naman sana wag. I don't want to be trapped in that kind of a good, pakikitungo, inaalagaan. Kaya unti-unti, I shun away from it. And I guess, nakikita ko naman para naman yatang nagagawa ko, kahit papano. But that is a servant. And today, I thank the Lord for, giving me this gift of life. And of course, for having Mary Magdalene as my, a model, as a saint whose contribution to our faith is now being reflected on, is now so significant in my priesthood. So ang hiling ko lang ho sa inyo, tuloy po ang dasal sa mga pari na katulad namin, lalong-lalo na ngayon na nagdiriwang ako ng aking kaarawan, na sana ay maging maayos yung pagdilingkod na ginagawa namin sa simbahan. We are not perfect, we are human beings, but we don't use that or use those as excuses para kami ay hindi nyo na, kumbaga ay itama at lagi na lang na inuunawa. So we welcome such criticisms perhaps or fraternal correction, but always in the aid of improvements. Nag-i-improve tayo, hindi para sa sarili lang, kundi para sa Diyos. So please pray for me, especially that the Lord may give me good health, and of course, mahaba pang buhay para makapaglingkod kami sa Kanyang pamayanan. Amen.